Road across the village. It will be open in Osceola County residents daily from October 12th to October 20th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The county will also deploy a contractor to collect hurricane-related debris from the curb. Residents should separate construction debris from vegetation and place between sidewalks and the street. Mixed debris will not be collected. Private gated subdivisions within the unincorporated county should reach out to Osceola County Solid Waste for a right of entry form. Regular curbside collection schedules of normal garbage, recycle, yard waste, and bulk will resume next week. The county has issued an executive order to address nonconformities in building permits for hurricane-related repairs. Any home or business that was considered lawful on Wednesday, October 9th, 2024, before the arrival of the storm, will be allowed to rebuild. Property owners will be allowed to start repairing hurricane damage immediately as long as they get a building permit no later than October 17th or when the county's emergency declaration expires, whichever is later. All building permits associated with damages to Hurricane Milton will be waived until further notice. Finally, Governor DeSantis has activated the Florida Small Business Emergency Bridge Loan Program. Osceola County small businesses owners can go to floridajobs.org/EBL for loans up to $50,000 through this program. Loans up to $100,000 are available for agriculture, aquaculture, small businesses, and loans up to $150,000 are available for citrus and cattle operations. These loans are intended to bridge the gap between the time a disaster impacts a business and when a business has secured long-term recovery funding. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Gonzalez with the City of Kissimmee.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by Hurricane Milton and those impacted by the flooding and damages to homes and structures. Overall, I'm relieved to report that the damage in the city of Kissimmee appears to be minimal. However, this does not diminish the challenges many are facing. Let's continue to support one another as we work toward recovery. I want to take a moment to express my deep gratitude to our first responders and all personnel who have been working tirelessly before, during, and after the storm to assess the situation. We understand that this has been a challenging time for our community. If you need assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out through the appropriate channels. We are here to help. Finally, our offices and parks will be open to the public tomorrow, and all trash, recycling, and yard waste services will proceed as scheduled. Information on debris collection will be announced very soon, as we're still working on preliminary damage assessment. Thank you, and let's continue to come together as a community. I just want to add a little bit to this, and I'm amazed at how advanced we are, how we learn to work together. This is a united community, and I'm proud to say that I'm part of it. And I thank all of you, first responders, the staff, and everybody that made this possible. I say kudos to you. It looked like a monster, but came in to be a little lamb. And we thank God for that. Thank you very much. And God bless you. And I will introduce Mayor Blackwell.
I am Mayor Blackwell with the City of St. Cloud. On behalf of the City Council and our city staff, we certainly want to express our relief that the storm was not as bad in our area as it certainly could have been. Our hearts certainly go out to those in other parts of the state who were not as fortunate, who suffered severe damage and maybe even the loss of life due to tornadoes, as well as those who have been facing extreme flooding. You are certainly in our prayers. Our city was spared severe damage, as you've already heard. Roads are open. Crews are working today to clear a handful of downed trees and large branches. OUC, our utility provider, is out working diligently. They've already restored power to thousands of homes. You'll be hearing more from them in just a moment, but we're grateful for their hard work. We realize that some of our residents have suffered damage to their property, including roof and fence damage or trees down. Well, the city is working to help make recovery easier for all of our residents. We are waiving the permit fees for roof and fence replacements that are related to the damage caused by Hurricane Milton. Please don't delay, get your work done, but as quickly as possible, go online and apply for permits, and our staff will process them quickly. We also are waiving fees for bulk collection of yard debris related to Hurricane Milton. We ask residents to gather downed yard debris at your curb this weekend for collection on its normal schedule next week. We ask that you place smaller limbs and branches in your garden bin and cut larger limbs to a size of no more than 4 feet and stack them at the curb next to your green bin. Our citizens information and helpline will remain open today until 8 p.m. and it will be open again tomorrow from 8 till 5 p.m. This is the number that you can call, 407-957-7161, or you can visit our website at www.stcloudfl.gov. We also encourage you to be a good Samaritan and to do what we've seen so many already doing, checking on your neighbors. And let's pull together and work and help each other make it through this cleanup. At this time, we'll ask the superintendent of Osceola Schools, Dr. Mark Shanoff, if he'll come and share.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. Schools are closed tomorrow. District offices are closed tomorrow, Friday. That has not changed. We are still assessing schools and work sites for damage. Currently, our maintenance teams are out surveying all campuses and district sites, looking specifically at damage on the exterior. We are about 90% complete. At this point, there's no major damage that will impact schools opening again next week. We have a previously scheduled professional development day for teachers on Monday. So students will not have school on Monday anyway because of a previously scheduled professional development day. But we see nothing that will impact the school district's ability to hold that professional development day on Monday. We have 5 school sites still without power: Liberty High School, Hickory Tree Elementary, Narcoossee Middle School, Horizon Middle School, Deerwood Elementary School. All shelters, as Mr. Litton alluded to, all shelters are closed. We had buses assisting with reverse shelter operations, getting individuals back to their original pickup locations out of the shelters. So I want to thank our transportation team for their assistance with that. I want to thank all of our emergency partners for their teamwork, and our SDOC team members from student nutrition, from maintenance, and our school leadership for the shelter sites, for their dedication for all of shelter operations. I had the opportunity to visit all of our shelters, and I was so heartened to see the amount of teamwork that was taking place, and also some real genuine, heartfelt interaction between those that were seeking shelter and our school staff. So I'd like to thank our heroes for that. One last thing that I want to announce to our students, our parents, and our teachers is that we will be making an adjustment to the last day of the first marking period. I've received a lot of communication about whether or not there were going to be changes with the end of the first marking period, which was supposed to be tomorrow. We will be adjusting the end of the first marking period, and we'll share more information next week after we have some discussions internally about that. It's now my pleasure to introduce Chief Deputy Dan Weiss from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Dr. Shanoff. Good afternoon, and thank everybody for being here. You know, as a result of our community coming together, this is a very positive press conference in lieu of the press conferences we've had the last couple of days where there was a lot of uncertainty. Our office has had a comprehensive response to Milton since the planning stages days ago. We have worked with our county emergency management team, the cities, and community partners in the preparation for Milton. We have been involved in meetings, resource allocation, and provided over 55 personnel in the sandbag distribution sites at Heritage Park and Celebration. For the storm activation, we activated over 492 personnel during a 24-hour period to respond to the storm. We also had over 50 apparatuses to include high water rescue vehicles, airboats, kicker boats, a Bearcat, chainsaws, drones, and that's just to name a few that were strategically placed around the county to respond to our community when they needed it. Overnight, our agency received 540 calls into the communication center, and we responded to over 250 incidents. Most importantly, and I stress most importantly, we had no storm deaths reported to us, which is a big win for us and the community. We provided safety and security for over 1,100 citizens across 5 different shelters in the county. We are also happy to report that we had no storm-related arrests and no curfew violations. We would like to thank the community for listening and taking the storm seriously. That was evident by the number of evacuations, shelter activity, and following our protocols during the storm. Our agency is now in the damage assessment phase and assisting with down power lines, traffic outages, and several other things that the community needs. The Sheriff's Office will be open tomorrow and fully operational in our administrative offices, as well as on the streets, as we always are. We are incredibly grateful for the amazing dedicated team that we have at the Sheriff's Office, our community partners, and the community at large for coming out together during this storm. Everyone stay safe and know that your Sheriff's Office is here for you. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Tiffany Henderson from KUA. Sorry.
Thank you, Chief Deputy. KUA has approximately 93,000 customers. At the peak of the storm, KUA had 15,739 customers without power at around 4 o'clock this morning. And I'm happy to report roughly 92% of those customers are now restored, and we expect to have all customers who can safely receive power restored by the end of the day today. KUA is following its 7-step power restoration process, and we are now on step 6, repairing neighborhood tap lines. After that, we'll move on to individual customer outages. We encourage customers to follow the generator 20-20-20 rule, keeping generators at least 20 feet away from your home, waiting 20 minutes for the generator to cool down before refueling, and buying carbon monoxide detectors for around $20 to install in your home. Most importantly, never try to power your home wiring by plugging the generator into a wall outlet, a practice known as backfeeding. This is extremely dangerous and presents an electrocution risk for our utility workers and neighbors served by the same transformer. It's still important for residents to be alert for power lines that may be hard to see in streams or puddles. If you see down power lines, always treat them as if they are energized and dangerous. Stay away from down power lines, and they can hurt or kill you even if they don't spark, hum, or dance. You can report a downed power line by calling KUA at 407-933-9800. Lastly, KUA's Customer Service Center will reopen tomorrow, Friday, October 11th, for normal business hours from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. As always, we're very thankful for our customers and their patience during this storm. And I'll now turn it over to Audrey Stasko with Duke Energy.
Good afternoon. Duke Energy remains committed to restoring your power following this catastrophic storm, Milton, as quickly and safely as possible. So Milton's strong winds, heavy rainfall caused significant damage to our system, including multiple wires down, uprooted trees, substations being out, and certainly damage to many homes and businesses in the area. So as of 2 p.m., we had around 16,000 Osceola customers, Duke Energy Florida Osceola customers without power. We continue to restore power where it's safe to do so, focusing on our critical services, including treatment facilities and pumping stations. Additionally, we have teams that are out there doing damage assessment. This is a critical component to our restoration process because it helps us get eyes on the damage, the source of the outage, as well as deploy resources and equipment to where it's needed most and in areas where it's accessible. So we thank our customers for their patience. We do anticipate a lengthy restoration process just based on the amount of customers we serve throughout the state, more than 2 million customers. And we anticipated about 1 million of those customers being without power. And we were pretty spot on with that projection. Aside from your patience, we ask our customers to stay away from down power lines. As you heard, very dangerous. Know the way to report your outage by calling 800-228-8485. And also make sure your contact information is up to date in our system. That's the way we're going to keep you up to date with our progress, including restoration times. So again, want to thank our customers for their patience and also thank everybody behind me for their coordination in this response. With that, I'll turn it over to Janice Osani with OUC.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I hope this press conference finds you and your families safe and well. Hurricane Milton's impact resulted in about 26,000 St. Cloud OUC customers losing power. That represents about 46% of the customer base there, and that was in the early hours this morning. Since that time, we've been able to restore power to about 9,000 of those customers as of 2:15 this afternoon. As soon as it was safe to do so this morning, we deployed safety assessors and power restoration crews to begin assessing the damage and to work on an estimated time of restoration for our system. We believe we'll have that within the next 48 hours. Our power restoration crews first focused on hospitals and critical care facilities, fire stations, and police stations. They then are focused on feeders and lines that will restore power to the greatest amount of customers in the most efficient manner possible, and will work outages that impact only a few customers at a time last. We are so very grateful for the thousands of resources who are responding to the dire situation following both Hurricane Helene and Milton. And we're very grateful for the crews that are joining OUC from as far away as Michigan, California, and Nebraska, just to name a few here in Central Florida. Customers can report outages by texting out to 69682 or by calling 407-423-9018 or by emailing us at customerservice@ouc.com. As a reminder, you only need to report your outage one time. Our customer service remains limited and focused solely on outage support at this time. We will not disconnect for non-payment at this time either. Please remember to keep safety top of mind, as you heard from KUA and Duke. I can't reiterate those points enough. Consider all downlines energized and dangerous, and remember that flooding creates a unique situation where water can be energized. Additional safety tips are available at ouc.com/storm center. Please continue to visit ouc.com for updates on our power restoration efforts, and we appreciate your patience as our community recovers. And I also want to thank everybody for the coordination of having OUC here today. And I apologize, I'm introducing Hillary Weber of Toho Water Authority.
Good afternoon. I'm Hillary Weber, the Chief Business and Environmental Services Officer at Toho Water Authority. I'm here to provide an update on Toho's ongoing response to the impacts of Hurricane Milton on our water and wastewater services. Our top priority is the safety of our employees, our customers, and our community as we return to normal operations. Please avoid contact with standing water as it can present a safety and a health risk. We also want to express our sincere thanks to our customers for their patience and cooperation during this challenging time. For our current status, Toho crews are actively assessing and responding to areas impacted by Hurricane Milton. At this time, no precautionary boil water notices or advisories have been issued. For any customers who experience water or sewer-related issues, we encourage them to report them by calling our customer service line at 407-944-5000. You can also email us at customerservice@tohowater.com. We're also asking for your help to reduce flooding and infrastructure impacts. To minimize the impact on our wastewater collection systems, which are experiencing strain due to heavy rainfall and flooding, we are asking our customers to please limit your water usage as much as possible. You can do this by limiting water use to only essential needs. And please avoid using dishwashers and washing laundry during this time. If you experience any sewer backups, please report them immediately by contacting our customer service team at 407-944-5000. For additional customer information and updates, we encourage customers to visit the news and alerts section on our website at tohowater.com for the latest updates on service impacts and advisories. You can also stay informed by following us on social media channels and keeping tuned in to your local media outlets for the latest information regarding Toho services. And next, we'll be summarizing in Spanish.
Good afternoon, Nirva Rodríguez, Osceola County Executive Director, Nirva Rodríguez, Directora Ejecutiva de la Oficina del Alguacil del Condado de Osceola. Juntos como uno, hemos superado este mal tiempo. Nuestra agencia tuvo una respuesta inmediata y nos preparamos para el embate del huracán Milton desde el primer día. Hemos trabajado en conjunto con el equipo de manejo de emergencia, oficiales de las ciudades y líderes comunitarios. 55 oficiales y empleados civiles de la Unidad de Servicios a la Comunidad ayudaron en la preparación y distribución de bolsas de arena en el Heritage Park y Celebration. 492 empleados trabajaron durante el huracán las 24 horas del día. Movilizamos más de 25 unidades de respuesta rápida, tales como camiones de rescate para inundaciones, hidrodeslizadores, botes de rescate, entre otros. Gracias a Dios, no tuvimos fatalidades que lamentar. Protegimos aproximadamente 1,100 ciudadanos en 5 refugios. No se realizó ningún arresto y nadie violó el toque de queda. Por lo que diría el sheriff Marcos López, hasta los charlatanes respetaron. Gracias a todos por seguir las recomendaciones de emergencia y respetar la ley. Estamos ahora en la etapa de evaluar los daños y cooperando con autoridades que están reparando semáforos y líneas caídas. Mañana estaremos funcionando en horario regular. Y quiero finalizar darle las gracias a todos los miembros de la prensa, ustedes que también, ustedes no han descansado, han pasado largas horas para mantenernos a todos informados. Mi respeto para ustedes. Gracias y bendiciones a todos. Y ahora los dejo con Alibet Suárez, directora de comunicaciones de la ciudad de Kissimmee.
Gracias, Nirva. Thank you to all Osceola County leadership. Ahora voy a resaltar algunos de los puntos más importantes que queremos que la comunidad sepa y relacionados con el paso del huracán Milton. En general, el condado Osceola se comportó muy bien durante la tormenta y de hecho, el cambio tardío de Milton en las bandas de lluvia a lo largo del corredor de la I-4 alivió las preocupaciones de inundación y los niveles del lago se mantienen por debajo de los niveles críticos. Tenemos un informe de algunas inundaciones en un vecindario de Cypress Parkway y en el área de Poinciana, y daños menores reportados en una zona residencial de Narcousie Road. Nuestros equipos siguen evaluando los daños y retirando escombros, pero nuestros equipos en las carreteras y puentes han despejado las principales vías que han vuelto a la normalidad. A excepción de nuestro refugio de necesidades médicas especiales, que todavía tiene algunas personas que permanecen allí, el resto de las personas ya se ha retirado de los refugios y los refugios se han cerrado. También queremos anunciar que todas las oficinas del condado Osceola volverán a abrir el día de mañana viernes. La recolección de basura en las zonas no incorporadas del condado de Osceola se reanudará mañana viernes 11 de octubre de la misma manera y los clientes que regularmente tienen la recolección el día miércoles, jueves y viernes deben tener sus contenedores de basura y residuos de jardinería en la acera antes de las 6:30 de la mañana. A todos estos clientes se les recogerá la basura y los residuos de jardinería el viernes y el sábado. Esto es para que los residuos domésticos y residuos de jardinería, no se trata de reciclaje. Esto tampoco incluirá la recogida de escombros de los huracanes. Para los escombros del huracán, el condado está abriendo un lugar en particular de entrega gratuita de desechos, es el jardín en Canoe Creek Road. El condado también enviará a un contratista para recoger los escombros relacionados con el huracán en la acera. Los residentes deben preparar y separar los escombros de construcción de la vegetación y colocarlos en la acera y en la calle. Los horarios regulares de recogido de basura, reciclaje, residuos de jardinería y en general se reanudará la próxima semana. El condado ha emitido una orden ejecutiva para abordar.
You've been listening in, and Osceola County has been giving us an update on the conditions there. Of course, we'll continue to monitor this. You can find the latest on WESH.com.
All right, now we wanted to show you just quickly inside Tropicana Field. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, so here's the deal. Yesterday during Milton, the roof collapsed, as you can see here. We actually were told that this is a staging area, if you recall, where crews had come to, stage, and then so they could just go out and help people as damage came about. And fortunately, they had already been moved, so no injuries were reported, but you can imagine that could have been a really bad situation. But obviously, not an ideal situation for the stadium here, but fortunately, no lives lost.
And our Megan Mackey was outside of there a little bit earlier today. Meanwhile, Justin Schecker is also live for us in Tampa this afternoon. He was there during the height of the storm.
Yeah, let's go ahead and check with him now. So Justin, tell us where you are location-wise. Hopefully somewhere safe, looks like it, but the wind's still picking up behind you a little bit.
Good afternoon to you both. We're here on Fowler Avenue. This is one of the main roads north of Tampa. USF is about 2 miles that way. I'll step out of the way. This is the aftermath of the rainmaker that was Hurricane Milton here in Tampa Bay. I used to work in this area. I've never seen the streets flood like this. This is far inland, again, near USF, near Busch Gardens. And this is North 15th Street and East Fowler. We've seen people walking waist deep in this water. Again, homes must be damaged back there. We can't get past this police line. I can also tell our viewers back there in Orlando that the sheriff's deputies in our area here had to go rescue people from an assisted living facility. We were trying to drive over to that area to see the aftermath of that flooding. We couldn't even get back there because the roads are still flooded in this area now. People are just walking around, taking pictures. Again, people have walked through about waist deep in this water. So this was a rainmaker. You guys saw me live on the air throughout the night. It was relentless rain, the strong wind gusts. We avoided that catastrophic storm surge over by Bayshore by the water, but just the street flash flooding is incredible to see here in Tampa today, hours after Hurricane Milton passed through. Live in Tampa, I'm Justin Schecker, WESH 2 News.
And thank you so much for that update. Of course, we want you to continue to stay safe out there and give us more updates as you see more damage throughout the area.
Yeah, so we are expecting a news conference from Governor DeSantis, hopefully in about 15 minutes, where he is in Sarasota. But he was earlier further south.
He was down in St. Lucie County where we saw those terrible tornadoes. He believes many Floridians heeded the warning to evacuate.
My sense is that a lot of the people did leave who were in the evacuation zones. I know we had over 80,000 people staying in shelters. You had massive heavy traffic on the interstates over the last several days leading up to the storm because I think people were deciding, to just get out of Dodge. We also can say that the storm did not produce the worst case scenario in terms of storm surge. If you remember about 24 hours ago, maybe 36 hours ago, the fear was a category 4, strong 4 going into Tampa Bay, producing about 15 feet of storm surge. That's an area with Pinellas County Peninsula and then the surrounding areas in Hillsborough County that is very low lying, very susceptible to storm surge. That did not end up happening. The storm did weaken before it hit land. And then it did bear further to the east and south of Tampa Bay. So I think a lot of what they had was the wind sucked water out of Tampa Bay. You did have storm surge in Sarasota, Venice, Charlotte Harbor, and all the way down the west coast of Florida, and some significant storm surge, but not to the worst case scenario of what we were looking at.
Of course, we're expecting to hear from the governor in Sarasota. He'll be seeing the damage there. Of course, when that news conference happens, we'll take you there live.
Meanwhile, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with more on the impact of Hurricane Milton.